Hi there and welcome to Celeb Hut. You all lock in on the grounds that the federal authorities are going max speed after Jay-Z. You've heard the murmurs for a really long time, particularly after his pal Diddy got cut up. Well, presently, they're saying the federal authorities are piled facing Jay-Z, and they're as of now connecting with potential observers who could spill the tea against him in court and think about who one of those observers is. Miss Sick Nana herself, Foxy Brown, purportedly she's prepared to spill about what Jay-Z supposedly moved in the day when they were together or tight. However, yet clutch your edges since that is not all. She's moreover dropping sensations about Tupac's genuine executioner after almost 30 years. Shit has the tea that could at last lock the executioner away for good. Prepare, cuz this is going to get you all who might have thought Charming would have been the one to at last cut Jay-Z down. You all yai. Hello, it sort of appears to be legit looking at this logically since Charming and Jay-Z go way back to when he wasn't completely cleaned up and smoothish like he is presently now. Foxy knows the genuine Jay-Z, the abrasive harsh around the edges adaptation that most people never indeed saw. She was not too far off with him all along, and most likely had his back far more than any other individual discussing the first Bonnie and Clyde. Yet presently she's not keeping calm any longer, and she's not exactly down to ride to the end. The federal authorities are hauling her into this wreck, and she's not going to accept any consequence for Jay-Z. Reports say Charming's not going to spill tea about Tupac's secret. No, she's doling out an all-in-one evaluation of Jay-Z himself. Purportedly, she has stories from way some time ago, when Jay-Z supposedly did her grimy and tossed her under the transport, when he was finished involving her in the business. So lock in you all since it seems to be Foxy's prepared to sing, and in addition to any tune, yet a tell-all that may very well stir up all that we assumed we realized about Hip Bounce's brilliant kid. Well, it seems to be one more instance of when you're correct when you're off base. You're off base since Jay-Z Babley won't have been the dearest friend to Charming Brown regardless of their long history. They connected way back when Foxy was simply beginning in Hollywood collaborating for certain hit melodies. Jay-Z and Charming appeared to be really close and everyone expected that she was seeking the brilliant treatment from him, yet from the leap, there were signs their kinship wasn't all that it appeared to be presently. Thinking back to the 90s, the discussion about limits wasn't, however, clearly as T seems to be currently Jay-Z in his mid-20s at the time, united with Charming Brown colored, who is only 14 or 15. Sure, age contrasts among specialists happen a great deal, and they aren't generally obscure or poisonous. However, the verses Jay-Z pinned for Foxy were genuinely experienced for somebody her age, and it was totally obvious that a portion of the obscure stuff was happening in the background. He composed the majority of her parts in those collabs, and they were far past what any youngster here age ought to have been rapping. For instance, in the melody, "It's not similar to the one I got." He gave her lines. "It's not similar to the one I got. Nobody might have you at any point better rest around someone who gets me a great deal, keeps you in jewels, and cowhides companions ought to let me know. I ought to let you be. Advise the oddities to definitely find a man of their own." Jay-Z had a 15-year-old spitting such bars like, genuinely, I don't know what he was in any event thinking, but rather, it most certainly gets more stunning on the grounds that he didn't stop there. He continued to collaborate with Foxy, even co-writing her track Sick and Let Me Let You Know. The verses on that one are next level over the top and, surprisingly, more regrettable than the one she had, and ain't no man in the tune. Foxy Rapianana, so sick her first week out, delivered a portion of a dinner. Men went crazy. She was about sex pairing. Check your realities in the history. I'm old about plaque, shaking my butt half bare and cherishing this life. Then Technique Man said, who got the illest tea in the world? Sugar walls descending. Ninja can't stand it. The evil nah, on the off chance that you've been living under a lute while she's discussing her NAA being sick, she's discussing her woman. Babe, her protuberances, her beautiful woman is, yes, a developed man composing a melody for a 15-year-old about her woman. Parts are frightening. Hollywood's seen some insane stuff, however. This one takes the cake. Yet Jay-Z didn't stop there. Possibly, he continued to put out additional express and improper tracks for her. A decent piece of Foxy Brown's crude no-hold-bar melodies from the 90s had Jay-Z's touch all over them. She became famous with those verses, and presently I'm not saying he composed each and every section, except he most certainly co-composed a lot of them, and his impact was huge, So how did things turn out from Studio Amigos making hits to Jay-Z purportedly attacking her profession? That is the million-dollar question. Well, it turns out their relationship wasn't simply proficient. It took a heartfelt turn, albeit heartfelt may be a stretch, since Jay-Z was not intrigued by the sentiment part of things. Once he just needed to crush and run, if you catch my drift yet. There are currently reports that at the time, everybody in the business realized that there was a little something happening between Jay-Z and Foxy, and there have been claims that Jay-Z was the primary man that Charming had been with. Supposedly, their relationship was something of a friendly benefactor-child circumstance, and he spent extravagantly on her, yet this is bizarre on the grounds that again she was 15, and he was in his mid-late 20s. However, it wasn't daylight and roses, since sources in the business uncovered that Jay-Z purportedly gave Foxy a sexually transmitted disease while they were playing with one another. You all ought to return and converse with all of that she laid down with in Philly. When she was in Philly, she consumed each and every one of them. She said more the center than turns out, Charming wasn't the main woman Jay-Z had something happening with, yet their issue was kept rigorously secretive. However, you at any point fault him opening up to the world might have landed him in some serious high-temp water, particularly with her being underage at the time. There were even murmurs that Charming once fell slip at a party guaranteeing that she and Jay-Z had made a specific sort of tape together, which she probably had concealed someplace. Not long after dropping these stunners, her place strangely got attacked, and think about what disappeared. No doubt that tape discuss obscure well later on Foxy Pup. To any misinformation to rest with TMZ swearing that she never spilled the tea on this in any case. She said the barbarity of this story nauseated me to my stomach in the entirety of my years. In the music industry, these are the most ridiculously sickening and impolite claims I've at any point encountered. A made-up story with no general media or composed interview that was clearly created with a malignant plan. Jay has just been brilliant to all of us, an incredible companion all through every one of the years I've known him. And we had only extraordinary success as a group. Genuinely, you all, what a bizarre now. As I referenced, supposedly everyone in the business had their lowdown on this story, yet they were relaxing when Scratchgun attempted to dive into it with Jay-Z's old buddy Lady Run. He evaded that question like a master. It seems like you got an inquiry for Jay posed to him. Don't pose me his inquiry. Brother, I'm not. You all can continue asking me inquiry. You all continue to ask me questions. You all need to ask him cause he ain't here. Kid I'd to do with that, and I do not realize anything about that. Even suggested the undertaking in his tune, where he said Charming got you. Because you kept your face in a touch. What do you assume you are getting young ladies now because of your looks? As per reports, Jay-Z evidently became jumpy about the circumstances and blamed Foxy for squealing. Be that as it may, she denied it, yet he wasn't getting it, and evidently boycotted her over it. Everything got so muddled, and on top of this show, there was likewise buzz about her conceivably affirming about what she knows with respect to his murder and who could have been behind it. As indicated by reports, investigators are looking to have Brown go about as an observer and give proof that rumored Southside CP Dwayne K. P.D. Davis was in Las Vegas on September 7, 1996, something that Davis has denied. The Clark Region-led prosecutor's office is shaping a rundown of witnesses that can put Davis in Vegas the evening of the Pac's murder, yet K.D. expresses that there is no confirmation that he was in Transgression City on that steadfast night in September, as per reports. Charming purportedly saw Keffy D in Vegas and, surprisingly, cooperated with him before Pac's shooting soon thereafter, yet strangely, K.D. squealed on himself in his own book, where he conceded that he was in Vegas the evening of the shooting, and he saw Foxy on that evening in the book named Compton Road Legend. Keffy D said as I approached the driver's side window, I saw that rapper Charming Brown was in the vehicle with Eric Vo Zip, so he taught her to get out of the vehicle, and movement for me to hop in. Zip had a secret compartment that he opened up, arrived at in, and took out a dark 40 Glock out head. Went to me and said now is the ideal time to get the cash. He proceeded with Zip gave me the 17th shot, which I speedily put down the back midriff of my jeans. I jumped out the vehicle, held the entryway open for Foxy Brown to get back and cut off the entryway, and they pulled. Presently, he's backtracking, asserting it was in support of Cloud, and none of it happened except for the federal authorities aren't accepting his story and are pushing for Charming to stand up. He leaned to say assuming she affirms it may increase pressure on Diddy and Jay-Z big time. Presently recollect when K.D. spilled the tea about Diddy purportedly putting a $1 million abundance on Tupac's head. Well, Key even uncovered that I was about to follow Cash affirming that Diddy paid it out. Yet it didn't get to key well the story that has coursed was that after Tupac wound up dead, Puffy purportedly gave the cash. Subscribe Celeb Hut for more videos.